Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Am I the antagonist for making my sister-in-law sleep in the hallway? My F18, future sister-in-law, F26, has ruined my life. She has been nothing but rude to me. She is trying to replace me. Every time she comes into town, she sleeps in my room. My mom used to make me give her my bed, but has switched to giving my sister-in-law an air mattress on my floor. This has caused a lot of contention. Sister-in-law has stolen my clothes, torn apart a blanket my grandma made me before she died, stolen my car, which made me very late for work, ruined my Macube, scraping out eyeshadow palettes, smashed lipstick, etc. She's wasted all my hair products which are expensive, because I have curly hair, that is high maintenance, put dents in my wall, intentionally overtunes my instrument, etc. She curls her hair every day, has dyed it brown like mine, does her eyebrows like mine, claims to have every disorder I have, depression, anxiety, ADHD, misophonia, and bulimia. If she does, she is very asymptomatic, and I feel bad for doubting her. My brother started to prefer spending time with her than me. Maybe I'm paranoid. IDK. Anyway, all this to say there's a lot of contention between us. Like mentioned prior, I have a disorder called misophonia, which is a disorder which causes an extreme negative reaction to certain sounds. These reactions that it causes in me have driven me to hurting myself and contemplating offing myself. She will intentionally trigger me and laughs when I get upset. If I ask her not to chew with her mouth open, she screams and cries and says I'm triggering her eating disorder. It's gotten so bad that she'll eat loudly all night. We share a room when she visits, and it makes it so I can't sleep. Even when she stops, the sounds replay in my head over and over. Last night I got 3 hours of sleep, which is the most I've gotten in 53 hours. Last night she got up and went to the kitchen to make nachos to eat in our room. While she was up I moved her air mattress, blankets, pillows, phone, and charger to the hall outside my room and locked my door. She got back and got upset. I told her she was being too loud, so she had to find somewhere else to sleep. She started banging on my door trying to get in, which woke my parents up. They told me I was being rude, but didn't make me let her back in. I finally got sleep. This morning when I woke up everyone was upset with me. I don't regret anything but I'm starting to feel bad about it. Edit. My brother, M25, is planning on proposing to his girlfriend, F26, in a month. That's when referring to, I'm sorry your brother has staked his future on this sad failure of a person. Adds Ashley. But this situation is absurd. You need to sit down and have a serious conversation with your parents about how this girl is negatively affecting you. Comment by team member Charlie. Now for the top comments. Why is your future sister-in-law sleeping in your room? Do your parents not permit engaged/married couples to share a room? NTA. Even if you didn't have what you have, she's being blatantly disrespectful to your space, your items, etc. How is your brother/family even tolerating this? Is she 12? Because you said she's 26, but she's acting like a child. Yeah. My parents don't let couples share a room. I'm also the only girl in my family, so she was forced with me. My brother is just like her and is manipulative as heck. My parents are determined to have a good relationship with them, so they turn a blind eye. I'm glad you think she's acting like a child too. I feel like I'm going crazy. NTA. Your response to her behavior and continued lack of respect is more than reasonable given the situation. Your feelings matter. Read that again. You have the right to feel safe in your own home, especially in your room. I would call a family meeting and lay out the issues on the table. However, focus on the effects of the behavior on you. Example, Regina George stays up later than I do and does often like to be on her phone and eat through the night. But this keeps me awake. I need X hours of sleep to be able to function. Also focus on the fact that you have been accommodating for some time now and have made many adjustments in order to make Regina comfortable, but it is just not working out. Alternate sleeping arrangements must be made. Do not allow your needs and your mental health to be put on the back burner for the sake of keeping up appearances. At the same time, it will be easier to present your case without any personal attacks. Just focus on the facts. Please know that you have the right to stand up for yourself. She sounds insecure and a bully. Wishing you the best. Thank you so much. Am I the antagonist for putting a lock on my deep freezer? I 25F live in a small neighborhood where we all get along with each other rather well. Me and my neighbors often tend to have little cookouts or gatherings in our yards to celebrate various holidays or just to let the kids hang out in general. However, with summer heat we haven't done many hangouts like this. It's usually just the kids playing outside now. I tend to get worried that they'll overheat out there, so I decided to use the extra deep freezer I had and fill it with ice creams and popsicles for the kids and put it outside so that they'll have something to cool down with. I left a note on the freezer telling them it's okay to take more than one, just be mindful of others and don't take too many. This worked out great. The kids listened to the note I left and some of my neighbors even pitched into it. Refill the freezer whenever it started getting empty. All was well. That was until a new family moved in. Their kids would always take way too much, sometimes even taking whole boxes of popsicles or one too many ice creams. Even the parents would come and snatch a few. I went to their door and told them that they had to slow down because it was getting to the point where the freezer would run out too fast and the other kids would be left with none. They said they understand and that they'll tell their kids to slow down. I went home after that. Lo and behold, there the parents are the next day about to take multiple boxes of ice cream. I went outside and stopped them, telling them to put them back. They complained about it for a while, but eventually put them back. I was beyond annoyed with this, and I wanted to find a way to work around this situation. I didn't want to stop filling the freezer because I wasn't about to punish all the kids for something one family did. Instead, I decided to get a class block for the freezer. I called up my other neighbors and explained this to them. They all agreed with me, so I went and brought the lock and put it on the freezer the same day. I also brought multiple keys for it and gave them to all my neighbors except for that one family. I would personally unlock it myself if their kids wanted an ice cream or popsicle. I didn't want to exclude their kids because I didn't like the thought of them watching everyone else have ice cream popsicles while not having any themselves. I guess they must have told their parents that, because a few days later I had both of them banging on my door and yelling about how I'm making them seem like thieves to the other neighbors and calling me over dramatic BTCH for locking the freezer. I simply told them that I gave them a warning. But they didn't listen, so now they gotta deal with the consequences of their actions. So Reddit, am I the asshole for putting a lock on my deep freezer? When they overuse the offer, you can exclude them because it's your freezer. They are not entitled to it. After talking to the adults about it, you saw them taking ice cream. They never suggested that the freezer be restocked. Comment by team member Corey. Now for the top comments. They made themselves seem like greedy thieves because they are. What you were doing was more than generous, and they took advantage of it. You gave them a chance to stop. Now they get to suffer the consequences. NTA, don't be surprised to find the lock broken or the whole freezer gone one day though. I'd get a camera on it. This. If it sounds like a duck. Looks like a duck. Must be a duck. They are just pissed that now the other neighbors knows they got itchy hands. They got a warning and tried taking multiple boxes again and clearly not putting anything back into the freezer. They only got themselves to blame. NTA and that family ruined a really sweet gesture by being selfish. Don't even apologize because you tried reasoning with them and they didn't care how it could have been ruined for the whole neighborhood. But I love the idea and gesture and definitely keep the lock on. I love that op figured out a solution that did not have to ruin if for everybody else. They can still enjoy a popsicle without having to disturb Opus. The other parents were rightfully contributing, not using it as their personal popsicle store. Am I the antagonist for interfering with my friend's diet? Yesterday, me and a few of my girlfriends, we are all mid-30 SF, whom I only see 1-2x a year due to kids distance, were finally together again and having brunch. One of the girls, Jenna, has gained a lot of weight in the past few years due to stress and COVID. She is still absolutely gorgeous, and also none of us ever mention her weight to her or to each other at all. She herself started a conversation with us about how she's trying to lose weight, and that she is currently on a diet of only 800 calories a day, while still running and working out. The rest of us said that that's very little for an active woman in her 30s. But she said no, because she knows what she's doing, and she just wants to lose weight fast. I told her that I have a family member who did such a hardcore diet a few times, and it resulted in an eating disorder and osteoporosis, because she didn't consume enough nutrients, and that therefore it might be a good idea to talk to a nutritionist or a doctor, just to make sure she stays healthy while losing weight. She got super angry at me and said that it's none of my business, and that because I'm naturally skinny I have no idea what life as a fat person is like, and I shouldn't offer any opinions. Again, I never ever mentioned her weight at all. I just got worried and suggested she consults a medical professional, just to make sure she's going about a diet in a healthy way. Am I the antagonist? She shouldn't initiate a conversation about her nutrition if she doesn't want to hear comments about it. She became defensive because she is aware that what she is doing is wrong. Perhaps make one more attempt to connect, but be ready for her to be quite hostile and defensive. Comment by team member Parker. Now for the top comments. NTA, that calorie consumption plus exercise, she's going to end up feeling dizzy, possibly fainting and having health problems later on. Crash diets are a bad idea anyway, as once she goes back to eating normally she will just gain it all back. 1. She steered the conversation. 2. She was with friends, not the a-hole. She just wanted to get compliments and might be even exaggerating about it. It's always difficult having these discussions, as opinions are generally never appreciated unless you say exactly what she wants to hear. Advising her to a nutritionist is a great idea to the start of her weight loss journey, to give her a scope of what would be good for her and what would be bad. She's insecure and took that out on you. NTA. I'm guessing she was hoping for a ton of positive feedback and compliments about how awesome she was for this. I have a colleague like that, limiting herself to 900 calories and telling everyone all about it. And what she wants is for us to be in awe of her self-control. Thing is, she's not actually losing anything by appearance, and I would guess that it is the splurge Snickers bar here and there she just can't resist, but doesn't write down, because it was just a one-time thing. So her diet is really 900 calories plus the junk food snacks she sneaks in. That salad of plain lettuce with no dressing isn't going to work when you're so hungry you eat a bacon cheeseburger on the way home. Yeah, restricting so much like that can super easily lead to cycles of restricting and then binging and sometimes purging. Restricting your calorie intake that much messes with your metabolism too, because it basically sends your body into starvation mode, and it does everything it can to keep what calories you do get in, and it obviously makes you crave high calorie foods. NTA. A true friend does express concern about their health without judging, and you did just that. Am I the antagonist for celebrating the 4th of July? I honestly need to know if I'm the one in the wrong here. So for some context, I'm 16, and my family is black. I have an older sister who's 29. My sister is really about black culture. I mean really into. She will go on rants about how we should only use black owned products, watch only black programs, and get closer to our homeland. It is never ending thing for her. This extends to my niece and nephew, as she's already telling them they need to go to a black colleges, have only POC friends and so on. Now for the 14th of July, a friend of mine invited me to a pool party BBQ. My parents told me I could go, so that was that. My sister calls my phone out the blue telling me she's on her way to pick me up. The exchange went something like this. I don't remember exactly how everything was said. Sister, I'm coming to get you. You know this a white man's apostrophe holiday and we don't need to be celebrating it. Me, okay. Well, I'm going to a pool party with my friend. Mom and dad already gave me permission. Sister, no. The family and I are going to an African dance. We have Juneteenth, and they have 14th of July. You are disrespecting what our ancestors went through by celebrating this holiday. Some more, and she said some other things. I kinda tuned her out. Got ready and went to the party. My sister texted me a few times asking where I was, but I didn't answer. Since then, like the whole month of July, she's been giving me hell for going to that party. She keeps ranting that I don't respect my ancestors, my heritage, and so on. My parents are on my side, yet at the same time they say it wouldn't hurt me to have gone to the dance class and learned something. Am I the antagonist? Most people consider Crispus Attucks to be the first American casualty of the Revolutionary War. Your sister is merely becoming overly enthusiastic about commemorating Black history after learning a little about it. Look for something cultural to do with her if you wish to bring calm. Comment by team member Charlie. Now for the top comments. NTA, you're not her kid, you're her sibling. She has no right to tell you what you can/cannot do. Additionally, she has no right to force her beliefs on you. You are your own person, and can therefore form your own opinions and beliefs. Your sister is what's known as a militant, also what's known as a radical. When people like that get something in their head, they cannot and will not be dissuaded. Normally I would say, sit her down and talk to her about it. But seriously, there's nothing you can do. Just know that you're not the a-hole, and she doesn't have the right to tell you what to do. NTA, your parents gave you permission. You wanted to go, so there's no reason you shouldn't go. If she keeps complaining to you about heritage, you can say you're American. So you can also celebrate 4th of July, not that you even need to be to enjoy it. You don't even need to be American to celebrate 4th of July lol. To most people, it's just an excuse to pop fireworks, party, drink and have a BBQ. NTA, but I'm a Brit, and I just nod my head and jokingly say Happy Treason Day to any American celebrating it. NTA, you are old enough to know what cultural holidays you want to celebrate, and which ones you reject. You know your own mind. NTA, she's entitled to her views, but she shouldn't be forcibly imposing them on you in a way that affects your relationships and freedom to do what you want with your friends. Am I the antagonist for asking for compensation on my meal? I, 44F, was at a restaurant with my husband. 50 meters. I noticed a couple of people, a man and a pregnant woman, sit down next to us, and I could hear them rambling excitedly about the woman's pregnancy. A couple minutes later, an older lady, who I assumed to be the woman's mother, came in and sat down too. The soon-to-be mother announced that they had found out the gender of the baby. When the woman's mother asked what it was, the woman placed a party popper down. The woman twisted it, and pink glitter flew everywhere. This wasn't confetti, it was glitter. A lot of glitter fell into my food, so I went over to the woman and asked for compensation on my meal. She said no, and that I was being an asshole for ruining their special moment. Am I the antagonist? You weren't invited to their celebration. Therefore it was wrong to be blasting glitter off there. The restaurant need to bill them for all the meals they spoiled and for cleanup. It doesn't taste good. Comment by team member Jordan. Now for the top comments. NTA. Holy shit, who sets one of those off indoors? You probably would have gotten somewhere talking to someone who works there though, considering that table clearly did not care enough about others to begin with. The labels explicitly say not to set them off indoors or close quarters, because once the glitter is airborne it cannot be controlled. It causes scratches to the cornea, and if inhaled, can damage mucous membranes and lung infections. So how that woman thought that it was a good idea to set it off in a restaurant is some warped sense of reasoning. That poor restaurant. They are never going to fully rid themselves of the art supply herpes they have been infected with. When I worked in the entertainment industry, we hosted a baby shower and we told them to set the glitter bombs off outside. To this day you can still see bright blue glitter all over the parking lot and fused to the fire pits. NTA. She destroyed your food. I do not understand the entitlement of people like this. First, in spraying something all over in a space that doesn't belong to them. Second, thinking anyone else wants that shit on or around them. Third, for having the gall to say you ruined a special moment. And I also feel bad for the restaurant workers having to deal with a table and floor covered in glitter, which is a no-have to manage disposal of. Am I the antagonist for telling my mom I'm done giving up my life for my younger sister? My 14 male younger sister, 10F, is a spoiled brat. I'm not exaggerating when I say this either. She gets everything she wants, whereas I'm forced to work for what I want. One clear example of this is that I wanted a gaming console, to play Fortnite with my friends on in September 2019. When I saw that Nintendo had just made a new console, I asked my mom for a Switch Lite for my birthday. She looked on Amazon and said they were way too expensive, and if I want one, save up on my own. So I did just that. 11-year-old me saved up $200 for a Nintendo Switch Lite, and I bought it in March 2020, just before the pandemic hit. My sister, on the other hand, saw me using it and asked my mom for one. She immediately agreed and bought her one and said it was because she's too young to know how to earn money. Anyway, back to the story. My mom, 43F, expects me to bend over backwards for my sister to play with her, cook her food, and just generally obey her every wish. It may not seem like much, but it's gotten to a point where I have to hang up the phone with friends oftentimes to service her, and my first girlfriend broke up with me because I can't spend any time with her. Today, I had just come back from a summer camp my grandparents had sent me to, and was exhausted from the 4-hour drive back. I came home and laid down on my bed, about to fall asleep, when my mom came in with my sister in tow and started yelling at me to get up and play with my sister. While half awake, I told her, "I'm done giving my life up for sister. Please leave and let me sleep." My mom and sister both started crying, and my mom has been yelling at me, telling me I'm an asshole and a prick for choosing sleep over my family. My dad, who divorced my mom a few years ago, texted me telling me I did what was right for me, and it's good I'm finally sticking up for myself. So, am I the antagonist? Can you cohabit it with your father? Do you think you could move in with him? Your mother's actions are totally unacceptable. You have the right to take advantage of your spare time. Spend it with your friends. Spend time with your girlfriend. And generally act like a typical adolescent. Comment by team member Cody. Now for the top comments. NTA, not a replacement dad. Your mum is trying to make things better for your sister, and in turn you're resenting your sister. This is your mum's problem. She will ruin your relationship with your sister if she muddies your role and responsibilities. You are supposed to enjoy each other, not usurp her. You stood up for yourself, and this will happen more as you grow up and get older and realize your mum's expectations are not appropriate. I hope your sister doesn't abuse her relationship with your mum by throwing it in your face. If she does, then your sister is a problem as well. NTA 100% agree. Your mother is also teaching your sister to be a selfish, demanding human being, as well as ruining your relationship with your sister and your mother. Good for you for standing up for yourself. I'm sorry your mother treats you horribly and doesn't support you. I hope you can leave this house sooner rather than later. NTA, your mom makes your sister into the golden child at your cost. Stick up for yourself. This has gone too far already. NTA, it is okay for you to establish firm boundaries, and at 9 it is way past time for your sister to hear them. Decide what you are willing to do for your sister, and that is what you do. No more, no less, unless you are being paid to babysit. Tell mom that you are sick of being sister's parent and you are sick of her behaving like a spoiled brat. Tell her that you should be able to be a 14-year-old kid, and part of that is having your boundaries respected and respecting the fact that you need time and space away from your sister. That you will engage with her on your terms, but not just because she wants you to. Do it politely, but get your dad and grandparents to back you up. It sounds like they are very well aware of what is going on. Good luck and hang in there. NTA, call your dad and see if you can move in with him.